little early.
Good evening. I'd like to call this evening's Kings Local Schools Board of Education regular board meeting to order. Mr. Morrow, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Phillips.
Here.
Ms. Groff.
Here.
Ms. Cowan.
Here.
Mr. Skirl.
Here.
Mr. Belfrom.
Here. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Mr. Skirl.
Yes.
Ms. Groff.
Yes.
Ms. Cowan.
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom.
Yes. Next on the agenda is still executive session. Is that okay? We'll enter into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. May I have a motion to enter into executive session this evening?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion. Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Cowan.
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom.
Yes.
Mr. Skirl.
Yes.
Ms. Groff.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
We are now back from executive session. Thank you all for your patience. Next on our agenda are the reports and presentations. We have the ladies from high school here for the Raise Team presentation. Ladies.
Hi, my name's Grace and this is Faithlyn and we're back to present.
Our outstanding artists. Many of our digital media arts students submitted their work to the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards back in December. The results came back late January. Many students earned honorable mention for their work and some were awarded gold and silver keys. So congratulations to all of those students. Carrie Cook is collecting art of any and all students to auction off, and all of the proceeds will be going to Miles Ahead Animal Sanctuary and Rescue.
Music. The drumline placed first at the Bellbrook Invitational January 29th. Chamber Choir was invited to sing tonight at the Aronoff Center to represent Cincinnati, Ohio, in the opening welcomes concert for the American Choral Directors Association National Conference.
National Honor Society. NHS partnered up with Leukemia and Lymphoma Society from February 1st to March 25th. The LLS team will be trying to raise $30,000. Please visit the Instagram page Knights Against Cancer to stay updated on the events. On Saturday, February 4th, they held a Chuck-a-Duck fundraiser at the Kings basketball game. NHS students made gift boxes for KHS counselors during National School Counselors Week. Thank you to our counselors for supporting our peers. NHS members delivered a rose to each staff member on Valentine's Day as well.
Spanish National Honor Society. The Spanish National Honor Society students held a drive for the kids at the orphanage in Monterrey, Mexico. The generous students donated clothing, school supplies, and sports equipment to help the children there. They also raised over $300 to help rebuild the volleyball court at the orphanage. The volunteers and staff members that went on the trip are coming home tonight.
Clubs. In German Club, every student picked a random city out of a hat and had to find a random person in the online phone book of that city. Students wrote a friendly letter in German to that person and asked for a postcard in return. They are receiving mail from all over Germany. French Club celebrated Mardi Gras, which is the start of Lent, on February 21st. The students got to share a king cake. Spanish Club played a fun card game called Manos Nerviosos. Students got to practice their Spanish while learning a traditional card game.
Athletics. The Lady Knights basketball team has a record of 20-5. They beat West Claremont last night, which was the #1 team in the state. The men's Knights basketball team has a record of 18-5. They share first place in the ECC with 2 other teams. They play tonight against Western Hills. The boys bowling team has a record of 13-7 and sectionals begin on Thursday. The girls bowling team has a record of 14-6 and they competed in sectionals today and are moving on to districts. The district qualifiers from the swim team competed in the district swim meet on Saturday. The following swimmers have advanced to the state competition, which will take place this Friday and Saturday in Canton. Go Aqua Knights. Will Ballard, Seth Broderick, Tyler Sukavecki, Ethan Leamer, Cooper Tinsley, Ashley Bender, Samantha Crum, Katie Gibson, Faith Radowski, Melanie Schweiker, and Maya Schweiker. King's wrestling team competed at the ECC tournament on Saturday. Devlin and Diorbeck placed fourth, and Java Harkir went 2 for 2. The King's gymnastics team will compete at the Southwest individual meet on the 26th. Shout out to Victoria Najim with a new school record on floor. The Kings gymnastics team competed at the districts at Lakota East on Saturday in place 6. Victoria Najim earned district champion on the vault, beam, and all around. She also received 3rd on floor. The academic team has a record of 6 and 8. The dance team performed at the ECC championships and received 1st in pom, 3rd in hip hop, and 2nd overall.
Night Times needs your help. The Knights Times in the school's newspaper, and this year they are trying to win an award for being a distinguished site. In order to win this award, they need to earn multiple badges, including the Audience Engagement Badge. They are working toward receiving this badge in the month of February. In order to earn this badge, the site needs to be viewed 5,000 times by 1,000 unique visitors. They kindly ask that the community visits the website and enjoys some articles. And the link is right there on the right.
Mock trial. Both mock trial teams competed at the regionals last Friday for the first time in Kings history. The following students earned outstanding attorney in their trial at districts and regionals: Jenna Tackett, Lucy Taylor, and Thomas Liu. Lily Mueller earned outstanding witness at districts. Tyler Mitchell and Malu Carmarillo Campos earned outstanding witness at regionals.
Business Professionals of America. Students competed at the Business Professionals of America, and so many students qualified to compete at the state level in Columbus. Since there were so many students that qualified, this link will allow you to see who all won.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Lynn. We always look forward to those updates.
I have a quick question. So that presentation, is that going to be shared on the website? Because I saw there were a few QR codes and links within there. Is that possible we can get that on the website? Just so the community can be engaged with those.
Next on the agenda is public participation, but I see we have no one signed up this evening. So next on the agenda are the approval items. Consent agenda are the approval items for the treasurer. Mr. Morrow, did you have anything to add to this evening's?
I don't, Mr. President, but if there are any questions from the board, I'm more than happy to listen and answer those. Nope.
Well, with that, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items for the treasurer this evening?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Skrull,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Belfron.
Yes. Next on the agenda, the consent agenda are the approval items for Mr. Sears. Were there any questions regarding the field trips or anything to add, Mr. Sears?
Nothing to add.
With that, may I have a motion to approve the items for the superintendent this evening?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion. Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Belfron,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Groff.
Yes.
And next on the consent agenda are the approval items for the assistant superintendent regarding HR and business items. Mr. Spinner, Mr. Lucky, was there anything that you needed to add?
Thank you, President Bell from Kings Board of Education. I have nothing to add this evening, but I know Mr. Lucky has a few words to share.
Just wanted to circle back from the questions from last week on the presentation. Question was asked, how many high schoolers take advantage of our bus service? It's 52%. on the high school side. And a question was asked about coaches at Columbia. I did want to clarify, we do have one coach for women's soccer at Columbia currently. Talked to athletics about their practice schedule. Typically they go at 5 o'clock daily. So not as painful as it was before with the multiple coaches that we had that started right after school. But I did want to clarify that question that was asked.
Any other questions?
I had a voting question. I do need to abstain from voting for the personnel items because my niece is a coach. Do we need to separate that out from the other items, or should I just abstain from everything?
We could do either. If we did separate them out, we would need a motion to amend the agenda, pull it out, and then vote on that and then vote again.
I mean, I can just abstain from the.
Okay.
From the items. I don't think it'll impact the results. So
No, it will not.
that's fine.
You sure? That's what you want to do? Okay.
It won't impact the results, so it's fine.
All right. And if I could, Mr. Lucky, with the Peterman contract, just to clarify for the community, us voting on this tonight does not finalize the tiers for the discussion that we're having with regards to transportation and the survey we send out next week, right?
Correct. We'll be able to make any adjustments from a scheduling standpoint with that contract.
Okay, thank you, sir. And with that, are there any more questions? May I have a motion to approve the items from the Assistant Superintendent and Operations Manager regarding HR and Business Director, excuse me.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Morrow,
Ms. Cowan,
I will have to abstain.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull,
Yes.
Mr. Belfron.
yes. Next on the consent agenda are the approval items for the Assistant Superintendent regarding the educational programs. Mrs. Martin, Mr. Freeman, was there anything to add this evening? Did we have any questions? Do you have anything to add as well? Okay. Any questions? May I have a motion to approve the Assistant Superintendent Educational Program items?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion. Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Skrull,
Yes.
Mr. Belfron,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Next on the agenda are items presented by the board. Was there anything to present?
I wanted to give an update on the Teaching and Learning Council meeting that was last week. So we talked briefly about Learning 2025 and the innovative work. And that in order to do that innovative work, we need knowledge, skills, attributes, and disposition. And Mr. Sears gave a wonderful presentation on AI, artificial intelligence, and he talked about the Chat GPT version 1, the GPT-4, which looked at pictures and graphs and doing presentations that way, and GPT-5, which is every video on the internet, and DALLE2, 6 million images and brushstrokes. So he also said that we need to shift from content to skills. And of course, that's our Power 5 skills that we've already been working on in the district. And then the change, not only with readiness, but trust. And then Chris Chamberlain and Deanne Burns talked about technology and the easy way that teachers have to monitor what students are doing. Go Guardian. And also Communication Beacon, which triggers words and it's a level of security. And a couple of the people present said that they were able to stop a student who had some self-harm thoughts, and that the parents were very thankful that we have things like this in place to make sure and keep all of the students safe. Did I miss anything?
Thank you, Mrs. Phillips. Impressed by your tech savvy. Do we have any more items to present this evening? All right, next on the agenda is the legislative update. Mr. Skrull.
Yeah, thank you. So I do have included in the agenda some legislative updates for the past month. There's nothing that was brought to Governor DeWine to vote on or sign into law this month, but just did want to kind of touch on a few things that he had mentioned in his State of the State address that had some education related items. So number one, he mentioned continuing the phase into the Fair School Funding Plan. He did provide all public and private schools funding for school resource officers. A couple other items worth kind of spelling out here is that he did provide additional college credit plus funding to provide additional training for teachers to instruct classes on high school campuses, which I think that's a big one as we're kind of looking forward here. The college credit plus, definitely something that is, I think, needed and that we need to keep going on that. And then also require the ODD to support 100 additional literacy coaches in schools and districts with the lowest reading proficiency. So those are the big items that Governor DeWine talked on. I do want to spell out that there was in House Bill number one. This is something that has just been kind of making a lot of traction here. It's been given a priority status, and this would modify the law regarding property taxation and income tax rates. So if this were to pass, this would have a pretty significant unfavorable impact to Kings by reduced revenue. So what would happen with this is there would be a reduction in what we would get for funding from the state. So that's definitely something we want to keep our eyes on as a district, and let's get in touch with our legislators. We don't want that to happen given our finances right now, and looking forward, we want to make sure we can keep that cash flow coming in. Those are the only big ticket items I had to share. If you want to read through those and have any questions, there's a lot there, about 5 pages. So if you see anything that you have any questions on, please let me know.
Will do. Thank you, Mr. Skrull. Next on the agenda are the student achievement liaison update. Mrs. Phillips.
Okay, we've all heard get 2 birds with 1 stone. I want to give you an educational example. Kings High School digital card fundraiser was held recently in honor of Random Acts of Kindness Day. And students could send a digital card created by the Kings Art and Kindness Club to any staff member in the Kings School District. And when they said any, they meant custodians, cooks, teachers, assistants, mechanics, bus drivers. And it was to help the National Art Honor Society raise funds for free community art events. So it was supporting teachers and other staff members. It was helping the Art Honor Society raise money so they could turn around and then do free community art events. So that was quite spectacular. Mrs. Metzger's kindergarten class at SLE read The 3 Little Pigs. They designed houses of various materials and tested them out to see if the big bad wolf could blow the house down. Now, the wolf was taped on to the end of a hairdryer, so the wolf could really try and blow these houses down. The wolf used its skills against cardboard houses, Lego houses, drinking straw houses, popsicle houses, and marshmallow toothpick houses, just to name a few. The wolf was successful sometimes and other times unsuccessful, just as in the story. So in the kindergarten classroom, if you think about the Power Five, the students had to communicate as they chose what they wanted to build. They had to think critically as they watched some of the houses being blown away to see and make a prediction if their house would survive. They had to solve problems. The cardboard houses, they realized had to use masking tape, for example. They had to collaborate, work together to be successful. Not quite sure about career ready, but some of them might want to be engineers in the future. New students enter King's all the time. On Thursday, Rhonda Allen Harmon welcomed new students from Janika Stan, and I think they were high school and junior high students. And then Power of Five used again, doing things like handshakes, eye contact when you're talking to people, active listening, and they're all important skills that the high school employability class uses almost daily. Junior high teacher Leslie Caudell said, "Oh, no sub for PE," but she wanted to make sure that the students had a wonderful time during their gym class. And so she said that they worked together to strengthen their upper body, and they had lots of giggles because it was parachute day. So I'm sure we all remember getting that parachute and flapping our arms and sliding under. So they had lots of fun, she said. King's Junior High is celebrating Black History Month with a door decorating contest soon to come to an end. Wonder who will win the prizes. Each impact class chose an influential African-American to research and then decorate their doors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Phillips. Next on the agenda, may I have a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
I will make that motion.
I will second the motion. Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a great evening.